Hello, today folks, this is Pooley. I have this Cirrus. This is a Cirrus SR22T. It's a 1.5 Big Bird. I have actually had one of these personally. And it was given to me by a buddy. It was just something that's like, hey man, you want this thing? It's crashed, you know, blah, blah, blah. It didn't have anything in it. I had to, you know, like revive it, put motor, ESC, all that kind of stuff, or whatever I had to do. And ultimately, after I did a video on it and flew it a little bit, I passed it on to somebody else, gave it to somebody else, but it was in much better condition. I had already bought, I had to buy the tail, I had to buy a motor, speed control. Anyway, so I passed it on to somebody, a free gift. And he flew it a little bit, he loves it, but it was kind of, I don't know, janky a little bit, still a little twisted up. Same guy, he decides he liked it so much, he wants brand new. So here we are. We're going to do an unboxing. I'm gonna do this separate and get this guy to you. Get this to you guys. And then I'm going to do the maiden flight separately. I am going to do a radio setup during this process. However, that radio setup will not be going, ultimately it's going to go on the owner's radio. And we discussed this because we've gone through this before. And the next time he's going to just, if permitting, drop off his radio so that I'll just set it up on his radio and it won't be like a double setup for me because, the whole, not so much with this. Like this is going to be super simple. I won't have any problems with this because this is a E-flite bind and fly. So setting it up is so simple. It's not even worth talking. But when it's one of those other ones where I got to do the full safe programming and all that, yeah, probably best to do it on his radio instead of having to do it twice. And then that way I can focus on having the buddy box set up here at the bench rather than trying to do it at the field and maybe having any kind of follies or mistakes. So anyway, I did ask if people like or dislike the fast forwarding of the put together, and I kind of got only a few replies on it, but the consensus seems to be that people don't like it. They prefer to see everything in full time. So it would be weird for me to not talk because how do you guys feel about that? If I click on a video and I'm trying to research something, please comment on this. If I'm trying to research something and I find your video and you have a video where you just show me things and don't say anything, I'm instantly clicking off of that. I don't want to, like, to me, that is the dumbest thing I see people do all the time. I don't know if they feel like people don't want to hear them speak, or if they don't like the way I don't know what that query could be, but I don't want to look up a video for instruction. I'm not trying to get an instructional video and have you not talk. That's weird. Okay, so I was kind of a little bit weirded out because I seen a screw into a piece of wood sticking up. And I was like, oh my God, that would have went through, but it probably went through one of these holes in the back of the tail here where the carbon fiber rod ultimately is gonna go. I'll show that to you. Let me get this kind of consolidated. Generally, people don't want the box, but this owner, he didn't want the last box before. He likes the pictures and stuff on this one, so he's gonna keep it. So it looks like I can't get everything out, which means I have to flip this over and release. Oh yeah, you have to get the carbon fiber out as well as the rest of the stuff onto this cardboard. So I'm gonna go ahead and free the items that are under lockdown and get them out of here. And one of the replies I did get on the topic was that people like me to do it in real time so that they could, maybe pick up on any little details. And I try to mention details as I'm going. But, if it's fast forwarding, obviously you can't mention details. But I do actually stop the video when I come across a detail that's mentionable. So you guys never miss it anyway. But either way, we're gonna do away for the time being. and go to the normal format, which isn't a problem for me either way. The whole purpose of that entire thing was strictly me being me, because I hate people to waste my time, and I am the last person on planet Earth who wants to waste anybody else's time. So that piece that secures it in is in a piece of wood that's mounted in there pretty good. So I'm going to inform the owner about it, because I don't know if you guys seen this in, if you watch a lot of my videos, you may have seen it done before. But whenever, usually Motion does it. I've never seen E-flite do it, but you see that piece of wood? It's got a screw in it, it's definitely positively with a nut and a washer, positively locking this bird in place while in travel. So I'm gonna put all this cardboard back, and I'll inform him what I do with that. I don't know if you guys have seen me talk about it before, but what I do with those pieces, that's a nice large piece of wood there. I take those suckers and use them as bulkheads or repairs. You know what I'm saying? You're getting free pieces of plywood. You might as well take advantage of it instead of just throwing your box out. So sorry to waste your time while I'm putting this in the box, but it's not much time, and I'm still talking to fill the air. I feel like that's a little bit more viable than just silence. Oh, I forgot one piece of foam. Oh, two pieces of foam. So this is our mess of parts. I see like some brand new out of the box, zero chance to have a defect. I see a defect right there. You see it? There's a dimple. You see it? Yeah, you see it. And there's another one right here. And then another one right here. So quite a few dimples for it to be out of the box. All right, I see a really bad one right there. Look at that. This is straight out of the box. So you saw me real time unbox it. So this is coming out of the box on this side. Doesn't have that same defect. It's almost like, yeah, it does. You see that crease right there? It's almost like it got handled in the box and maybe got roughed up. I don't know. But either way, it won't affect anything. It's just mentionable. Some people are very particular about that. And well, the owner of this bird, he's very particular about that. So he might want to get another one. Antoine, you gonna get another one? Because this one's got some dents in it. Just messing around, guys. But as I was messing around, I noticed another defect on the larger side. Look at that. It's almost like it's not glued in correctly. Then there's some bubbles on the mirror window on this side. I was able to, that's a sticker, so I was able to scratch that down. But here, it's like buckling. See if I can get you a look at that. And this is all just for the sake of being thorough, folks. Because, I mean, you unbox something, you want to see the details, right? So I can't show it to you well. But there's an area right there that's like, I can see C8 or whatever type of glue sticking out. And it's not fully seated. So anyway, having said that, we are going to move on up to the next piece. I'm going to put my trusty, I use a BioLite. I love BioLite. Look at that name brand. Look it up if you want to. Now, last time I bought this one, it was like a while back. This is my second one. I got this. The first one is over here on the wall. But the part about, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to waste some of your valuable time to get this out and show it to you. This is my original BioLite, right? And you could see it's all dirty, sweaty. I mean, I got some mileage on this thing, man, but it still go. The reason why I upgraded, because the head part is starting to get a little wonky. Not wonky, but like you can see how much stretched out it is. I have miles and miles and miles, and it's blinking. There, it's dead because I don't even use it anymore. I kind of haven't used it in a while, so I'm gonna just pop it on a charger just for the sake of, I may use it at some point. So, everything plugged in. Why is that not working? All right. Get my headset back on and get back to business. Sorry for wasting a good, valuable minute of your life. All right, I'm gonna get this book out of here with no haste. All right, I just got the manual. It's got a loose page. Might be an addendum. Let's see. Addendum. Sure enough, I hardly ever see this. The CG for E-flite Cirrus should be 53 plus or minus 4, not 63. That is cool. That is cool. I'm gonna put this addendum back in the back page, and then, or maybe in the page where the CG is called out, which tends to be in the later pages. And leave it right there. I'll do that later. But anyway, I'll put this out the way for now. Get in the manual. This shouldn't be a long build. So you got 2 wings. You got 2 carbon fiber rods. You have 3 wheels, 2 tail pieces, and the nose. And this is screwed together. Yeah, I'm gonna put that off to the side. The tail tends to be first, so push this off to the side on my, oh man, I dropped the wing panel down on that maneuver. All right, getting to the first page of the book. And there's a little parts bag. And that's everything you get in there. Lots of goodies. Antennas, the steering piece, some screws that go throughout the whole install. And that's about it. Look like 2 little brackets. I can't remember what those brackets are for, but we shall see. All right. All right, table of contents. All right, goes through the setup, IX, NX. I don't do that stuff first. You guys probably already know that. Battery install. All right, binding. Have to get back to all of this. Step 1, gear. All right, so it does say gear first, so I'm gonna take this and I am going to stop the video to get a stand because I don't want this to sit upside down. Today on the stand, we're going to be using this foamy. This is my first stand, and I pretty much got a couple from a buddy recently, but I never had much stock in them. But I like this one because it's got this dual-sided. It's a small plane on this side, big plane on this side. This is a really fatty, so we're going to put this on the fat side. And I'm going to flip him in there. And in the front, his hood will kind of sit on it. On the other side, it won't. So it looks like, I just noticed another little thing. The body hangs over just a little bit from the over the canopy. See that? You see that white? That's the canopy. If you look on this side, the canopy's sticking over a little bit on that side too. So you can never see that from the top, I guess, but just a note. Note. All right, put the 2 wheels in. I would say at this point, they probably won't go in backwards, but make sure you're not putting them in backwards. Where do they go? Right next to that. Yep, okay. Right in the way of the wing. Don't like that kind of design. All right, the other one slides in. Oh yeah, okay, they both slide in the same. All right, M3 by 8 button head screws. There's 4 screws there. All right, get all my antennas out. Bag out of the way. Bag of screws. There's 1 bag of little screws which are self-tapping for like wood or plastic. Then there is 1 bag of other screws, all the same size. I'm going to assume that these are the correct ones. The 8mm. They look to be 8mm. There's all the same size screw in that bag, so no mysteries there. I'm going to get me a Phillip, see if the one that I allotted was big enough. It is, but I'm gonna opt to use one of my bigger screwdrivers. And from that point, even go to the completely largest size, a number 3 Phillip. Because certain times you think you need those little screws, man, bigger screwdrivers just work so much better, even if it is a little screw. As long as it locks in. If you do a lot of this stuff, that probably makes sense to you already. If not, use that as a small tip. Use the big screwdriver, not the little one you think you need. Unless it doesn't lock, and if it doesn't lock or it slips, then go down a little bit smaller, but use the biggest screwdriver you can fit. Now remember, this is weird because I had to look around. If you remember when I first opened or first got to this point, I had to look around to figure out where the wheels went because they go right in the same place as the wing, which is kind of stupid to me. But, okay, I had to make sure because I couldn't remember the procedure. But the wings can come out separately from the wheels. So you can leave the wheels on and just take the body, the wing off. And the wings are only held on by 4 screws. And that's what makes it another thing. You'd have to like really make a note to yourself not to take out certain screws, because you'll end up unscrewing too many things that you don't need to take off. And if you just was to unscrew these ones that kind of look like they might make sense to be the ones to take out, then you can't take it out. It'll just stay there. See these 4 screws that I used? These are just for the gear. If you were to take those 4 screws out, you'd be pulling on the wing and it won't come out, because these things kind of go in there and they go down into the hole. So you'll be pulling, it won't come out. Either way, if you still had the other 2 screws in for the wing, it won't come out anyway. So nonetheless, they won't come out, bottom line. All right, remove the hatch. And all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of the stand for now then. Put this on the bench, let it do that. Put the screwdriver over here. I'm going to take 2 fingers and remove the hatch. Another flaw, see that? All right, put the hatch down. All right, nose gear. I'm gonna stick it in through the hole so that the bird's not sitting nose down anymore. And it's at an angle. You see that? Remember that angle, because it's not like it makes sense. Like, look, this wheel is crooked, but that thing is straight up, right? With this wheel at straight, this thing is kind of raked back. I had to repair the other one, and I straightened it straight first, and then it was like, whoa, it's too much. So then I raked it back like it is, and it made more sense. All right, so, all right. At this point, once you put your motor, your prop and everything on, it's not gonna be able to do this. So do it now. And make sure you don't do that out of step, but you just basically separate it. It's 2 magnets holding down the back of it. Separate this a little bit, then move it forward. And the reason why you got to move it forward is because there's 2 lock-in pins. You see them? So those slide in and then keep the front from being able to move, and then it locks in with magnets at the back. So, all right, I got that out the way. Push this in. Get all the wires out of the way. All right, and I can see now and I can align it much better. All right, at this point, it's gonna be strictly just going straight into putting the control arm on. There's a Phillips screw on the control arm. It looks like in the illustration, they don't show you, but if I'm gonna choose, I'll probably put this brass side down. Look at that. So you got this side and you got that side. So it looks like the brass side will go down. There's a flat spot in the wire in order for you to tighten it down and know that you're straight so that it locks in. All right, I'm gonna make sure my wheel is straight, which it doesn't matter if my wheel's not straight, because once I tighten this down, it's gonna find the flat spot, and then it'll force itself to straight even if it's not. And it's getting to that point right now. So what I like to do in this case, I usually finagle with this a little bit to get it where I know I'm on the flat spot, which requires you to tighten it down very small increments until you feel it where it won't turn anymore. And once it'll turn, but just a little. See, like I'm holding the inside. You see how it's turning back and forth? That means I got it. If I didn't have the flat spot, this wheel would spin all the way around. But the fact that it's spinning that much tells me that I have it now, and I can't pull down, I can't push up. So that's it. I'm golden. I can lock it in. So even if it's a little bit off, it's gonna straighten itself out because it's in the flat spot and it's gonna force itself to be straight. And if it's not straight even then, still don't worry about it because you're gonna be able to trim it out. All right, okay, I already made a mistake. I should have put the arm on. I seen the Z-bend as I was connecting. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that in there. Let's see what hole they tell you to go to. I'm going to the outermost hole, but they usually have that right here, which is weird. They don't have it. Control nose gears, the bottom shown firewall, push rod, Z-bend into the outer hole of the steering arm, right where I was going. Usually, unless somebody requests it for some reason, I never go to anywhere but the outermost hole on a place like this that's not going to be able to be gotten to. Well, that's a lie. You could easily get to this, no problem, whenever you want to. This is right on top, and it's got nothing but one Phillips screw holding it. So, all right, to illustrate what I was saying, loosen the screw some. See the wheel spins all the way around? All right. I hope y'all can see that. The wheel spins all the way around. Now I'm gonna tighten the screw a turn. The wheel stopped. See that? It's in the slot right where I need it. So I'm good. I can go ahead and finish the tightening. And I'm gonna get a nice juicy torquey one for the last one. All right. So from there, Philip tighten it. Horizontal stabilizer. All right, we're gonna get this rod. We're gonna get the horizontal. So this is gonna be the one on this side. You could tell because the control arm's always gonna be at the bottom. Slide this in the hole. Slide this through this open. There's a piece of a foam bead in there, so get that kind of stuff out just to make sure you don't have any binding issues, and you'll mess up your beautiful brand new surfaces of your board if you leave a little small piece of foam bubble in there. You'll mess things up sometime. All right, I got my there's a slot on one side and a reciprocal basically on the other, so I got that queued up and lined up. There's no adjustment on here, no ball length, so usually I would not connect this back section until I set up the radio, but in this case there's no adjustment here, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is the kind that it just has a bend and you lock it down. So I am going to go to the outermost hole, and that's one of those gigs where if the owner needs more throw, we can steal some from there later. But I probably, let me see. See what the directions kind of give you. Push rod installation. It's showing at the inner, so let's go with the inner. Let's do what the directions tell us, because that's going to give you the most throw. All right. We are in. I'm going to use a tool just for the simple purposes of keeping it from pushing back on me. I don't really prefer these types, you know, but they work. There's nothing wrong with them. I got a bunch of them. I found some, and you know, so when, you know, if you go to an RC field, you're probably familiar with this, but somebody will come and just do a big dump and get rid of a whole bunch of stuff, and, you know, I guess start over or get out the hobby, whatever it may be. And we tend to gather junk from this kind of stuff. So yeah, I picked up a bunch of these at one of those, thinking it was going to be a good idea. But then after using them, I was like, I don't prefer this. I'd rather just do a Z-bend and get it over with. Because there's an adjustment on the other side. So you just Z-bend this side and get it done with. So all my little aircraft that I put together and do like my full setups on, I just do a Z-bend. I don't do that. So anyway, that's that. All right, we're going to this bottom piece. All right, there's a hole in it. It takes a screw, looks like. So the door, the tab is in the front, so you're gonna peel it off from the back. Yep, you can't see it from the inside. You can, but you can't get to it. So it is a magnet. Nose gear, radio. All right, I'm gonna put my finger in the hole. Then I'm gonna put this antenna in there. Make sure I got it the right way, because this goes backwards. So if I would have put this on, it would have been backwards. So make sure you don't put yours on backwards. But the illustration has it the right way. The antenna goes in line with the piece. And then there's going to be a screw involved, I would imagine, because there's a screw hole at the back. With the radio system powered on. Oh no, that's nose gear centering, push rod installation. It doesn't mention this little piece, but it just starts talking about this A, and it doesn't even tell you to install it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put a screw in there because it's gotta be, oh no, there's only 4 screws left for the wings. So this is gonna be one of these little ones. So I'll just stick it in there for the time being and wait until it gets to that point. All right, I'm gonna put the stand back on, only for the purpose that we have to put wings on now, and it's gonna require me to put 4 screws into the bottom of the bird. So, wing install, yeah, that's it. So, where did I put the rod? Right there. All right, so I'm gonna get this put in. I'm gonna probably have to do some finagling because this thing, I remember, was aggravation the first time on the bench. Oh, and to mention, it's got the 3 reciprocals for the connections to the wing. There's no stupid short little plug-in wire. I don't understand. And then there's the 3 reciprocals on this end. So I don't understand how that's still a thing. I got a C130 that's super old. The Hobby King C130, and it had true reciprocal, not this type thing where it's just servo leads that you're pushing in. It was like a true little interface. I can't remember exactly how it looked now, but I remember always being impressed by it. Like, why are we still in the dark ages with the rest of the birds? But this one has such a cool interface. So anywho, that's not going through. The rod won't go through the bird all the way. And be careful with pushing rods through. Don't like super torque this kind of thing, because sometimes there's wires in there, because this is a wire chase and there is something in there. I don't know what it is though, but it's coming from the front. Yeah, I can see the area, and I'm gonna show it to you, don't worry, once I figure it out. Quite a few times I've been through this threshold where I'm trying to get one of these in, and one time, I think it was on the airliner, I was like grinding on it, and okay, I was able to, the little piece at the top I moved must have been it. It's very tight though. You see, I'm kind of like torquing it just to get it. So I'm gonna try to get it decently centered so I don't have to try to push it with the wing or anything, because I see that it's super tight already. All right, got that in. Get the old headset back on. Get my wing installed. Wrong side. Watch out for the T28. And on this wing is a 2 tabs, the connections for the wires, as well as a little tab in the back. You see that little tab in the back? Yeah, you can see it pretty good. So all of these things have to align, and when you push it in and you get the reciprocals in for the wires, pretty much the other stuff goes right with it. I'm gonna get the stand out the way because I'm gonna just put the wings on, and then once I get them on, I'll go ahead and do the flip over maneuver. As a matter of fact, this is strictly for the video, but it's kind of hard to get on. And the other one I had, it was the same procedure. If you can see, there's a gap there, right? So I don't know why. I thought the other one, because it was crashed, it was hard to get on, but this is brand new and as good as it could be, and it's hard to get on. So I'm gonna get the stand up here, let it straddle everything, angle it somewhat to clear the T28, and sit it in the cradle like that. And I'm gonna grab me 2 screws. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna be carrying a Cirrus with the wings on. You know, you're gonna be mostly gonna be taking these wings off, because this sucker is big. And they're so skinny and narrow, it's like crazy, huh? Just like the crash one, these screws are a bit of a challenge to put in. And when you get a crashed bird, you kind of just be like, yeah, you know, it's crashed, whatever. No, in the hole, it looks like usually you have to push in further to get it aligned. It's actually looking like I need to pull it out a little bit, which is odd. I'm gonna try to get the back screw in. So see, this is the weirdness I was explaining to you earlier. You got these two, if you flip this over, if you got 100 birds, you know, like most of you guys, not myself. You got 100 birds and you take this one to the field and you put it together, you're looking at it like, whoa, what do I take off to get this wing? Look at that. I mean, let's just get in a little zoomed in on that, because it's an old bird, but it's still ridiculous. So as you could see, this is the screw I just screwed in. I was on frame, but I was further zoomed out. But now I'm zoomed in, so you can see this better. I just put this screw in and then this screw in. That's the ones for the wing. So if that makes sense to you, you can remember it, then cool. But if you don't, now you're gonna be unscrewing this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, this. You're gonna be unscrewing all kinds of screws when all you need to do is take out those two outer ones. If you can remember that, fine. If not, you'll probably be taking them out and then be like, ah, shoot, I didn't have to take that out. But I knew there was a trick to it. Once I hadn't touched this bird for a long time, and then when I got back to it, I had to take them all out, you know, and then I figured it out, of course, but still not the best kind of setup to have all those screws tight like that together. All right, I finally found the hole. Now, let me finish. I'm about to say something, but I'm gonna hold off until I do the other side, just to make sure that it's consistent for both sides. Another thing that I noticed for the crash bird that I thought was a crash bird thing, but it was not. All right, got that nice and tight. Now the front is sticking out quite a bit. It's gonna have to be pushed in. And I do not like pushing in a wing on a foam bird. It's just not the best thing to be doing, because, you know, if you push too hard, you'll print the wing without even trying, because, you know, it's soft foam. All right, I got those in. Now, the mention I wanted to bring up, you see this gap? That's the tab that I showed you before I pushed it in that locks in the back, and it's in there, but there's a nice size gap here, as well as this side, the equal size gap. There's nothing you could do with this screw to make it fit any closer in there. You know, if you, nothing with this, the wing tightening screw, it would not go any further. So that's the way it comes. I'm gonna, you know, leave that at that. But even on from the top view, and I thought the crash one was, yeah, see, there was a bubble I just rubbed out in the sticker. But yeah, even the crash one had this same huge gap right here. As a matter of fact, on the crash one of the wings was so bad, it didn't even make it to the point where it was locking in. So, all right, so then let's move on. All right, wings, screws, centering and control surface. We don't need to do that. This bird came with all put together wings, so all the control surfaces will be, yeah, they're all, oh man, then they got the little cool thingies on. This is old school here. The little push rod adjusters. I love these. There's nothing more easy than putting one of those on. So anyway, here we go. Next step, centering the gear, nose gear. All right, I already read all this. I thought I had switched pages already. All right, antennas. So from here, we're gonna grab the antennas. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. All right, here we go. One on top just rakes back. So this is one here. One under the bottom. Oh, that rakes back. That's that one. Oh, there's 5. I'm about to say, I got this one in my hand. Where does this one go? This one goes at the top of the wing. You have to turn the rudder in order to get to it, and then it falls into a slot. All right, so you have to move the rudder side, and move my wheel, and then once you turn it where it's sideways, there's a hole. So got that. These are gonna be the ones that have the self-tapping properties. So go ahead and get him put in. All right, there's too long, too short. So let's see. 2 times 6 millimeters. This one, these other ones came with their own screws. So there they are. One, two, 3 antennas, 3 screws. Yep, 3 screws on the desk. There's other screws. There's 2 other screws that are longer. That confused me there for a minute. That's why you saw me kind of looking at it weird, because it's like, all right, they're saying 3 screws, but there's 5. So I'm gonna get that on there. All right, that's done. Get the second one and put it on this hatched antenna that I pointed out a long time ago. All right, very nice fit. Nice, like that one. All right, the 2 back ones. They have their own screws in the bag with them. Flip this up, and they go right there. So they are not identical. One sweeps forward, one sweeps back. So when you get the right one, you'll know, because it's going to be sweeping back. Nice to have these kind of little details on the bird, and not many do. The Cirrus and the Cherokee, I would say, are 2 that do have a lot of nice details, and the Cirrus might be the winner if that was a contest. Not might, it is. The Cherokee doesn't have any of these antennas and stuff, you know. It always helps when you're doing this to have your magnetic screwdriver, because those little screws will have a hard time staying on while you're getting them to go the distance you need to go to slip in between the foam for these little reciprocals to be seated. All right, we got those on. We got those on. All right, that's all of our antennas. We're gonna straighten out our rudder. And that is it. Those 2 extra screws don't really have a home, unless they were included for those other pieces that came with their own screws by mistake. I don't know, but maybe they'll tell us at some point. No, that's it. That's pretty much the end of the book. They start going into throws and setups. So I usually set up everything on a you know what, I didn't give it a chance to get to this point, but put this on. I didn't install the prop, and usually you don't do that, you know, part for setups and stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the hatch on the bottom and get this prop installed. All right, I'm not gonna even take it off of here. It's kind of already cinched down the way it needs to be. I'm gonna just seat it on the motor, push it back far as it goes, and tighten my prop nut. I'm going to go ahead and grab a crescent. A crescent wrench made by Crescent. Haven't seen many of those. Everybody makes a crescent wrench now. I guess they must just call it adjustable wrench, right? All right, I got my prop facing in the right direction, and I am going to tighten down my motor. It's not spinning, so you can get it fairly tight. And get my 1 screw that's stuck to the magnet on this hatch and get it installed. Let me make sure, because I have no intentions on ever taking this off again. So I'm gonna make sure that the motor's not spinning so that I have enough torque. Oh yeah, that's enough. I can't even move it. All right, get this cover and put the screw on. I like to push my cone forward so that I can see it seating, and then that'll give me, when I'm getting close to the finish, got it finished, extra little torque at the end. Put the bottom antennae, flip this over. I'm taking real precaution because this ain't mine, on hitting it against the wall and things like that I would normally do when I'm doing these kind of things, because it's hard when it's such a big bird. All right, got a light on the bottom, but little exhaust ports, which should be painted. I don't know why they took all this trouble and they didn't paint the exhaust ports a appropriate color, unless the real thing has that same color. All right, so then your hatch goes on. That's it. You got you a 1.5 meter Cirrus. All right, let's get that back off. All right, get back in the book. Now in here, I see a lot of wires that are not very well routed. So I'm gonna just leave kind of the mess in there, but I see one that I want is for the bind plug. So I'm gonna get it plugged in. If it's hard to plug in a bind plug, it's because you got it upside down, because there's usually an easier way and a harder way. I am going to grab my benchtop 2200, and I am going to get this plugged. First off, let's do a little bit of radio setup before we get this plugged in, but we are prepared for plug-in on the bird side. Going to be setting today up on the NX, so get it turned on. All right, let's take a look at the book. NX. Power on, transmitter, system setup, scroll wheel, yes. Select the add new model, airplane type, create. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just follow this letter by letter for somebody wanting to do it who's not very experienced, because this is a bird that a lot of people buy as a second bird. I don't agree with that or even understand why, but I've seen it happen 3 times now, so it's a thing. All right, I'm gonna just say that. All right, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna do it a little bit different than the directions, because I'm gonna see if there is a bind and fly. The directions just take you through the manual run through. I'm gonna take you the easy way if they have it. So let's try that first. So from here, I'm gonna exit to the main screen. I'm going to hit, hang on, I had this acro set up and I might want to name it so I don't forget what it was. I gotta think for a second. I remember what it was, and I went in here and named it. So I'm on a model. From here, I'm gonna hit the 2 top buttons on the left side of any NX radio simultaneously. Then I'm gonna hit add new bind and fly. Hit that. Now I don't know if it's in here, but then I'm gonna go down to E-flite. But I'm gonna see. So carbon. Wow, you saw that? It just updated the list while I was in mid scroll. I hate when that happens. Oh, look at here. The Cirrus SR22. I got it. I'm gonna hit import. It's transferring. Ooh. All right, we're back up. It's named. It's got probably a bunch of sounds and stuff. I don't know, it's weird how sometimes you don't even get the sounds and stuff. But anyway, the bird should be fully set up. So if you're buying this and you have Spectrum and you're setting it up like this, you look for it. It's in your list. It'll be in your list for sure. It's an old bird. It'll be there for sure. So that at this point, I am ready to bind. So I don't have to do any of these little setup steps. I'm bypassing it all. And I can just go straight to bind. It's got an RX port assignment in case you had a PMP. We don't care about that. Battery installation and arming. That's just showing you what we're gonna do. Not a big deal that needs to be covered a lot. Using the bind button, safe mode enabled. You're gonna power it on. You're gonna press the button, and and hold, it's going to start flashing, then you're going to bind. Using the bind plug, you're going to put it in. Okay, with safe mode disabled is if you're going to, okay, with the push button, you would release it. That's the only difference. So in this section here, we're going to connect the receiver to power, and then we're going to remove the bind plug, and then it'll go into safe mode. If we were to leave the bind plug in, it would go into no safe mode. It would just go into AS3X only. So I'm gonna get out. All right, I'm gonna connect the bird. It's got a bind plug in, and really, this is a bird that could easily have been reached, but I find that when I'm doing it myself, it just makes it easier. All right, the bird's initiating. I see it flashing. You see it flashing. Removal of the bind plug. Bind plug gone. Go into my transmitter. Move the model out of my way. Trying to do things on it with a touchscreen because I'm so IX kind of spoiled or something. I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna go down to where it says bind. I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna hit yes to that. I'm gonna hit bind, and then I'm gonna stand by DSMX, telemetry. Now the flaps went down, which is curious because usually when these things come from E-flite, they're fairly bulletproof. But in this situation, it looks like something's going on with the flaps. They're backwards. So I guess maybe some people prefer to fly it that way, but we don't. So we're gonna, let's check everything. So the bird's ready to fly though. Yep, that's right, elevator's right, aileron's right. So my turn, left turn, right turn, everything is working. Copacetic, let's show you that. I guess I could show you with this at an angle. All right, right aileron, left aileron. You can't see the elevator, can you? No, you can't see it. There we go. Up, and then turn to the right, turn to the left. All right, now front wheel left, front wheel right. Everything is working. We got our big, beautiful prop on there, so we're gonna want to take a chance at a folly of hitting it or something. So I'm gonna hold the bird, give it full throttle, nothing. The throttle cut is engaged. Now they engage the throttle cut this way. I prefer it the other way, so we're gonna remedy that. Now it should come on. All right, the prop comes on. I am going to leave it on, and I'm going to go into my menus. I hate when this happens. It's just such a glare issue when I'm doing from different locations to different locations. All right, that's much better. All right. From here, I want to, what is I doing? Oh, throttle cut. I'm gonna hit this button, and then I'm gonna go down to where it says throttle cut. It's good to have the free file from them, but I gotta alter it a little bit. So I'm gonna go down to here. That's it, cool. They went down 105. Like I see them do that sometimes. And then I'm gonna highlight that, and I'm gonna unhighlight that. So then I'm gonna hit back, back, back. So now this position of the switch should be throttle off. I'm gonna hold my bird because I don't want to take a chance, and I'm gonna full throttle, nothing. I'm gonna click it on, bump it, and it works. So now my throttle's cut, I'm safe. Check it again by turning throttle up. And I noticed that my flaps are backwards because with this down, they're flat. So let me get out a little bit so you could see. All right, the flaps are down, so I wanna hit that. I'm gonna hit this button. I'm gonna go, the scroll wheel, sorry. I'm going to flap system. I'm gonna go into, I could just reverse the switch under servo, the servo section, right? I could just go to servo setup and go to travel and then go to reverse, right? And then from here, I could go to flap. So now the flaps are all the way up, right? I could do it that way. Or I could change it in the thing. So hit that flap, hit back, back, back. And I'm gonna go into flap system. And then you can change it. See, it's at 100, then 0, then negative 100. So I'm gonna change it from 0 position is gonna be negative. Oh, sorry, I was going the right way and didn't realize it. I'm going to scroll this all the way down. And at this time, if you notice, the flap is moving. And I'm going to go to -100. Lock that in. Then I'm going to go down to this. And then I'm going to go to +100. And this is the way they had it set up from the factory. So the 100% flaps are the, right setup for this. This is cool. All right. And then they got 4% and 6% for the elevator. That's cool. It's already done for you. It's on speed 2 seconds. I don't need to fool with it. So now my flap is flat and my switch is in the 0 position where I want it. I'm going to put it to the middle position. It's going to go to the 0 position, which is mid, and then all the way down for full. So that's it. I'm set up. This thing is just, we're in the air. We're flying. We're zooming. There's nothing else left to do. One thing I'll try to cover, it does have the correct 60 amp speed control in it, so it does any of the Avions would do this same maneuver. But let's see if we can set up the throttle reverse thrust, sorry, not throttle, but reverse thrust. All right, let's see. So from here, now at this point, I'm bound. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna disconnect the battery just to give me a fresh thing. Now be careful. I've done this a while. This is probably not an update receiver, so it doesn't matter. But if you plug in a receiver back to back now with the newer updates, it does this thing called fast boot. So it's gonna kind of not boot. It's just gonna sit there and flash. So pay attention to that. But this is an older bird. I was able to plug it in right fast. Otherwise, give it a good 30 seconds or so before you do it. So from here, I'm gonna go to scroll through my menus, and I'm gonna scroll to the last one, Avion Prog. I'm gonna go. It says step 1, throttle low and elevator. I'm sorry, hold for 5 seconds. All right. So then aileron right. So you saw what I did. I just didn't spit it out fast enough. Sorry. Step 2. Now I'm in. From here, I'm going to go down from this to brake type. All right. Second thing, brake type. It's disabled right now. We want to enable this. I'm going to push right. It's normal. We don't want that. Proportional. We don't want that. Reverse. That's what we want. We want reverse, right? So then I'm going to go from there. I'm going to go down to. Now this is where it gets a little bit, I guess, sticky, because different birds, I have noticed it does it in a different way, right? So let me go back up actually, because there's something I wanted to mention, didn't, and I don't normally change it, so that's why I didn't do it. Brake force, it ended up landing on it. This is at 0. You can hit it and go to 1, or you can hit it back to 0 and hit it back and go to 7. 7 is the full brake. So when you hit off the throttle, if you push your throttle down, your prop is going to go zoom and stop quickly. If you put it on 0, your prop is not going to stop at all. It's just going to flow. So you kind of choose where you like to put that, because I do know with reversing a motor in movement, a lot of times we have issues when you don't put some brake force on it. So in this case, let's change it, because I didn't want to do that. All right, so you have to use the stick. I always forget this part. I'm gonna put, let's put 5. All right, so then from there I'm gonna go down. You might want to cut your cutoff voltage lower, right? What this is your ESC is going to do a hard cutoff. Oh, I'm always wanting to scroll. It's going to do a hard cutoff at this voltage. I prefer to crash my bird, I prefer to land my bird and mess up my battery than to crash the bird and still destroy the battery. So I go lower on that voltage if I'm going to change it at all. Sometimes I don't. I'm very conservative with the time and battery, so I don't normally fool with it at all, really. But if I do decide to change it, that's what I'll change it to, lower, so that it doesn't, stop me from flying. Because a lot of times people go up with a battery and realize that it's starting to lose power. And a LiPo will start losing power at that point, and you'll have enough time to land it. But if it cuts off, then you don't have enough time to land it. It's just going to stop. This is what I was mentioning. This bird does not have landing gear that retract. So I'm not 100% sure where the channel for safe mode will be. But if it's, channel 1, 2, 3, 4, they're set, right? They're always the same. And then channel 5 is going to be open because there's no landing gear. So to me, they probably put safe there. I should have checked it before I went in here, but I didn't. So I'm going to think that channel 7 might be a safe place to leave it. But a lot of times channel 7, if you have full 6 channels. In other words, if you have the top 4, throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder, flaps, and gear, that's 6. Then safe would be channel 7. But since this doesn't have gear, I'm thinking it's gonna be channel 6, but I don't know. In that case, I would change the reverse thrust to channel 8. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and do it now, just because I'm trying to scroll the scroll wheel. Channel 8. I know channel 8's a good place, right? It's not gonna interfere with anything, so I don't have to come into this menu again. So I'm gonna go down more, and I'm push over, exit and save. It's gonna reboot, and then I can scroll back to my first menu, and then I can scroll over one, and I can see, all right, so this is my channel that I like to use for safe. It's not moving anything, but stupidly enough, the landing gear switch is changing safe. Anytime they have a bird from E-flite that doesn't have landing gear, they put safe on this 2-position switch. I think that is a terrible idea. What that does is that gets a pilot, let's say your first aircraft is an Aero Scout. It comes with this stupid radio, but the stupid radio allows the safe mode to be put right here on channel B, on switch B, where I prefer it to be at. But then you get this Cirrus next and you're flying, your muscle, even though you know that safe mode is here from you setting it up on the gear switch, you make a mistake and hit it because you're so used to doing it the other way. I just don't like that. I prefer to change it. So having said that, I'm going to see what channel is channel 8 on the radio. I'm going to scroll the scroll wheel one more time because I hate that it dims down like that when I'm trying to do a video. So I'm going to, all right, channel 8 is this knobby. So remember that. And safe mode is on channel A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to channel assign. I'm going to hold my bird as a precaution, or power it down if you like. System setup. Yes. Channel assign. All right, you see how it says gear A? I'm gonna select that and I'm gonna hit B. All right, it changed it. So I had a real problem with this a long time ago because NXs kind of spoil you. IXs kind of spoil you of doing stuff differently. Make sure you lock that in. If you don't lock it in, it's gonna go back to A. So all right, I locked it in, it changed color. All right, so then down here, flap is this channel. We're not worrying about that. Aux 7 is E. We don't know what that is. It's probably like a panic mode or something that they have set up. And then channel 8 is the knob. We don't want that to be the knob. I like it to be on channel G, switch G, sorry. So I go ahead and get that done while we're in here. Oh, and then I didn't lock it in like I always don't do. So don't panic if you don't lock it in as it changes. Just go ahead and hit the switch again and then lock it in. And then if you go down to next, it'll bring you to the rest of the channels. So then I'm gonna hit back and back, and the bird took, control again. Everything is still working in the right directions. And we're gonna bump the throttle, nothing. We're gonna bump the throttle. All right, so now I activated on channel 8 the reverse thrust already, so I'm gonna give it a little throttle, and then I'm gonna flip it. You heard it? So, with this switch pushed, and this is common, I almost always have this issue. I like my switch to be down. As a matter of fact, if you look at my radio, when I pull them out of the box, I do this. Some of them are moved because it wasn't a fly day, it was a setup day. But I want everything forward. This is all forward, that's forward, that's forward. That's forward, that's forward. All of these are forward. This is my safe to pull out the box and set up a bird or whatever, because throttle cut is on. Wheels are down. Safe mode is active. All of my full rates, all of my reverse thrust is forward. This is forward. That means I want the bird to go forward. The problem is, whenever you set these up out the box, I'm gonna turn this on and see if I can zoom out so you can see this part. I'm gonna hold the tail loosely, but you see the bird come back, right? So I'm in my forward position, and you heard that nip? That's that braking. Listen. You heard it at the end? Nip? That's the braking. If you don't have the braking on, the prop will spin much longer, and you won't hear that little nip. So anyway, at this point, my throttle is backwards. So in order to go forward, I have to push this switch to me. and now it's going forward. You saw the bird eject forward. So I don't want that. That would be something for me to remember, just like that stupid A switch for safe. Why would you do it? I'm gonna change it, right? So I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go to servo setup. I'm going to go to travel and change it to reverse. And I got a rant about that even. Let me finish this part. So from here, I don't know why this is cut off. You see, I can't see the bottom of there. So flap is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. This is the one I want to change. All right. So that's going to be my switch 8 for reverse thrust. And then it goes down to the rest of the channels. Okay. All right. So I'm going to back out. All right. My throttle cut is off. And my switch is down to the ground. And now zoom out so you can see the bird's wing. And the bird's trying to take off. When I hit it backwards, you're going to see the bird come back. All right, there you go. So my reverse thrust is set up. I fixed that. That rant that I was wanting to say, let's go back into servo setup. I don't know if you guys think so, but I hardly ever touch travel. Why is the first menu you get to travel? I always, almost on every bird, have to reverse something. This should be the first menu. On the IX, you don't have this problem, so no problem with that because you just select it. But this is stupid. Reverse should be first. Spectrum, next update, change it now. All right. So, folks, I've ranted. I have talked. I have set up everything. This bird is ready to fly. So, I am going to cap this video as the end. This is a good one. It came with the bind and fly, so that's the way you should set it up. I wouldn't say go hard way unless you needed to. If you don't have a Spectrum radio, you'd have to go hard way. But if I showed you on a Spectrum radio, it wouldn't transpire over to what you have anyway. So this is mostly for people with the Spectrum NX series. And if you have IX, it's going to be in the bind and fly list. Also, it's an older bird. It will be there. This bird is flashing. It's got all its lights. It's beautiful. I really like the Cirrus. It's a very cool scale bird, and maybe one day something that I might have, you know, like it's not something that, you know, certain things I just, you know, kind of zone out of, be like, I'd never get that thing. But I wouldn't mind having one of these. I mean, you know, of course, I know I just said I gave one away, so it's not like that's not a factor in it. It's just that one was old and, you know, crashed up and everything. If I have one, it's going to be like this one, pristine. I don't want the old crashed up one. It's something that I'm going to be like a centerpiece type bird. But it's a very cool scale thing. There's not many birds that are as scale as this. The likelihood of me getting one, though, now that I'm thinking about it, probably slim and none or none and none. But anyway, I do think it's cool. See if I can get a look at it. It's a big boy. Size reference inside my little small washroom / workshop. My wife calls it the workshop. So that is the Cirrus. There is a very cool feature that's not a feature. If you're flying this at nighttime, Mr. Larry had a Cherokee, which he has since sold, but it was like his second or third bird. And we flew him at nighttime. That was a very cool experience for us. But like this, this light is on in the inside. So you can see, where is it even coming from? Oh, it's fires straight down into there. So it's kind of designed to do that. Yeah, it's directly inside of here. You can touch it. So the whole fuselage should be lit up. Well, even cooler, you should be able to see the light through all the windows. I think that's a very cool feature that I did not even know about, even though I had one. All right, turn it. Look at the guy. That's how I ended up hitting it, because he is not the coolest little guy. He's just like flat. Yeah. So let me get this headlamp, because this guy is, there you go. Well, not really. Hard to see him from any angle. Maybe through his driver's side window might be a better place. There he is. See how he's just flat? But, you know, hey, he's in there. He's yellow and orange. So, you know, it's a little different. The seats are pretty cool. There's a whole dashboard there, not colored. It's all black and white, but all in all, a very cool scale model. that not only myself, but a lot of people like. You got lights on the front of the wing. So as you're coming towards you, you'll be able to see your lights. And you got your wing tips with your flashers. All right. Let me flip this big boy around and show you the green. All right, and I hear my safe going off. Remind me to check it right fast. All right, so I'm gonna give it right stick and I'm gonna turn it. And you saw the control surface bend. Now you saw the control surface go down to try to self-center me because I left it, flat. And that's it, safe is working. I'm gonna turn safe off and I'm gonna give it the right stick and I'm gonna turn it. The bird's still self-centered. So that means safe is not active in the right place. You're gonna come across this when you're doing this stuff. And let's see why. I'm gonna go to, all right, the gear switch isn't doing anything now. And channel 5 is not doing safe, so let me see. Might have to go back in there again and set it again, because I'm sure I set it. All right, so I don't know where to go here, because let's go to first things first. Let's check the monitor. All right, I'm gonna hit my switch. It's on channel 5. So from here, let's go to hit this. Let's go to system setup. Are you sure? Bird is secured. I'm holding it down. From here, we're going to channel assign. I got aux 5. It would either say gear or aux 5. So inhibit, throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder, aux 5. Yeah, it doesn't even have gear in here anymore. So, all right. Oh, there we go. Gear. Gear switch B. Let's see if that does it. I don't think it will, though. All right. So everything works. I'm going to put my safe mode is on. All right. It's self-correcting. Safe mode is off. It's still self-correcting. So, for some reason, safe mode is not on that channel. And I'm sure that's where it should have been, but it's not. So this happens. It's a good thing for it to come up on the video so you can see. All right, everything is working on my bird, so I'm good there. I'm putting my switch down for safe mode. I'm gonna get into here and I'm gonna go into forward programming. I'm gonna hit that. I don't know what's gonna happen. This is like, I show advanced menus. Yeah, we want that for sure. We wanna go to gyro settings, SAFE Select. All right, SAFE Select channel is inhibited. So when we did the binding, I guess maybe we didn't do it. Safe select is on, safe is on, but we don't have safe channel select. So I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna hit it to gear, right? And then I'm gonna go back. And I'd probably, if I was really doing this to fly for my own bird, I'd fish around with a whole bunch of stuff in the forward program. But for now, just for the video, to demonstrate you that it's gonna work, I'm gonna put it in, it's in safe mode. And I see it auto-correcting, and I push it all the way up, and it's not. So, all right, I'm going to show you that. Let me zoom out. So that was, if you come across that situation, that is the fix. Is you go to forward program and you assign it. Because you saw me, I went to gear, and it was not controlling safe, right? So then I went into forward program, safe wasn't active. So I'm going to turn right, and my bird is going to, I'm going to turn right. My bird is going to start auto-correcting right about there. And stops you. You can't turn any further, right? I'm gonna release it. It's gonna self-level the bird. So I'm gonna put it in this mode. And so the second mode is gonna be AS3X. So it won't self-level the bird, but it will have AS3X. Now on the third position, same thing. It will not stop you from rolling over. So that's it. Everything on this model is set up, checked, and ready to fly. That's all I gotta say about that. Pooley out.